Components of the information security policy. You got this policy. It's going to include acceptable use, your acceptable use policy, things that you're allowed to do on the systems, things that you're generally barred from. Education, where to get more information, how to find out if something's permissible, that point of contact, ways to measure compliance with it. Are people following the policy or are they ignoring it? Now, under education, people should be made aware of the policy, ramifications for not following it, punitives if they breach it, the reason for it. Remember, people are generally going to apply more with the policy if they understand its purpose. Measurement of compliance, measurement for what constitutes a breach, and then an evaluation. Is the policy being enforced? How well is it working? Does it make sense? Sometimes policy sounds great on paper. Someone had a great idea, you implement it, and all of a sudden it just doesn't really work, or it hamstrings what people are supposed to do. They find it affects their job performance so much that waivers start being granted. The point of contact says, I understand, let's make an exception or an exclusion area, until the policy is not recognizable or may not be effective as it was originally written. So evaluate it, make sure it's still good, make sure it applies. And remember, back in the 80s, 90s, common policy said there would be no internet access. Email was only for those authorized. Now policies say everyone has email. Use it responsibly. There may be some personal use allowed, reasonable personal use. Internet, probably okay to surf at lunch, but not at other times. Most people have access. Telephone use back in the 70s and 80s, official use only. Now, most companies want you to allow reasonable personal use because it costs less to let you pick up the phone to check on the status of something than have you take the day off and miss work, where they're going to pay sick leave, or you're going to call in sick or take a vacation day, where a 10, 15 minutes out of your day could have taken care of the issue and you would have been there working, allowing everyone to do their job. So policies do change over time, so evaluate them to make sure they are still applicable and make sense.